there, this is Joan-Marie Domino. Welcome to my channel. I have a really fun project for you today. In fact, this is an upcycling project. So go look through all of your old silverware and pull out a bunch of spoons. I'm going to show you how to make them into decor. You can use these as ornaments. These would make a great gift. As usual, I'm going to take you step by step. So if you're a beginner, you're going to be able to do this project right away. Here's a sneak peek at one I turned into a Christmas tree ornament. It's so pretty, so festive. I'm using napkins from Vippi's Designs, www.vippies.com. I just want to tell you, these are for decor only. These aren't going to be used for food. Okay, let's start with the spoons. Now, when I was looking for spoons, I looked for all different sizes, and I also looked for some that might be decorative, like this one. You can see it has nice flowers on it. This one was very interesting because it actually had initials on. So that's kind of what I was looking for. So now you might be wondering, where do you get these spoons? Garage sales, thrift stores. Start with your own family. I actually got some from my sister. Look in your own stash. You may have some spoons. You can always even get new spoons from Amazon. I am so excited to show you this. This is one of my favorite projects. I have loaded it with tips and lots of samples. Get a lot of spoons. You're going to want to make a ton of these. Okay, so since we're going to be doing decoupage, we want to start to look at our napkins. I'm going to start with this one. It has these cute little deer down there in a winter scene. That's going to fit perfect on a spoon. This napkin has several images. There's some skaters there, and you can use part of the house. And I really like this napkin. Where is it? Okay, here it is. It's got lots of little birds on it, so those would definitely fit on the spoons. Here's another scrap napkin. It's got a little doll on it. That could fit on a spoon as well. So you want to look for all different kinds of napkins. Look at this. That's got Christmas beverages. They would fit. That's like 9 spoons you can do with that. And if you're looking to do vintage, I got this napkin from Vippi's Designs. So if you don't have scraps of napkins, remember, you can go to Vippi's, www.vippies.com. That one has words and little images on it. And don't think just Christmas. Okay, look through your florals. Look at this one. This is actually a little sneak peek. I'm using a scrap of a napkin. And look, that is perfect for Easter, perfect for spring. And another sneak peek. This is one I did from Halloween. All right, so I gave you a couple sneak peeks. One for spring, one for Halloween. I have so many more in this video. But I want to add by saying, look through all of your scraps of napkins, not just Christmas, but all different images. It's always a good idea to start with a good clean work surface and something to work on top of. In this case, I recommend wax paper. Some of these spoons are going to be painted and we need something to put them on. Make sure the spoons are clean. It's okay if they're tarnished. You may even want to use them like that, but we are going to paint some as well. Now, don't you worry if you can't get old spoons. New shiny spoons will work as well. All right, so I'm going to start by painting these. I'm using chalk paint. I'm going to apply it with a sponge pouncer. Now, why do I like chalk paint? Chalk paint adheres so well to smooth surfaces like metal. You've seen me do glass. You've seen me do plastic. Chalk paint works the best. Okay, on to our next step. So we're going to put some paint on these guys. So I'm just going to dip my pouncer into the paint, and I want to make sure some is on there. It doesn't have to be a real lot because the surface is so small, and I'm just going to pounce like that. So as I apply the chalk paint, I'm pouncing, as you can see, and I'm overlapping. I'm even going to go up the handle. So I'm doing the spoons in sections because I need something to hold on to. I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then I'm going to do the top part of the spoon, and I'm going to do the other side as well. I want to hold the spoon up so you can see that after it dried, it does look a little bit blotchy, and you may like it like that. I actually did some spoons where I left just the one coat. But in this case, I am going to put a second coat on, and I'm going to use my sponge pouncer and chalk paint. And before I forget, I'm using my favorite chalk paint. It's by Rustoleum, and it's called Chalky. I want to hold up the spoon so you can see what a second coat looks like. You can just compare it to the handle. So it really is giving good coverage with that second coat. So I'm going to go ahead and put my second coat on the front of the spoon. I'm going to do the very end as well, and then I'm going to flip it over and do 2 coats on the back. Now that my spoon is dry, and a silly me, did I say spoon? I meant to say spoons. Paint a lot of them is so addictive. You're going to want to make a ton, trust me. All right, so this is the napkin I chose, and I love that little Santa face, and he's going to fit really well. And just be mindful of which way the spoon is going to hang, because we don't want Santa to be upside down. Now onto the napkin, and that's the Santa that I chose. This is a scrap, so I'm going to be using that, and yes, he fits perfectly. So my next step is to do a water tear, and to do a water tear, I'm going to use my water brush. It has a tube of water on one end. The water feeds through into the brush end, and I am able to trace all the way around the image. Very simple like that, and the water is feeding through. It's weakening the napkin so I could do a nice soft tear. Just like that, very, very easy. I am being gentle. And then he is going to fit absolutely perfect into this spoon. Now, I hope you're sticking with me. I don't want you to struggle. I am taking you step by step. Now onto decoupaging the Santa onto the spoon. Now look through your brushes and pick a relatively small brush because it's a small area and it's concave. And I'm using Mod Podge Matte. You can buy small containers like this one from the Dollar Tree. I buy big containers and I put them into smaller containers like that. And this is the brush I'm going to use. And I'm going to take the Mod Podge and start to put it all over the bottom part of the spoon. While the Mod Podge is still wet, I'm going to take my little piece of napkin with the Santa face and I'm going to put it right there in the spoon. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to very gently tap down on the napkin first, do a little bit of smoothing, but then I'm going to take my brush, put some Mod Podge on it, start from the center and go out and cover it with Mod Podge. All right, on to my next step. And if you've watched any of my videos, and why, I really hope that you did, I am going to go ahead and take a piece of one of my favorite things, saran wrap, plastic wrap. I'm going to put it on top of the little piece of napkin. I'm just going to smooth it a little bit more. I like the image whenever I do decoupage. I like it to lay nice and flat, be wrinkle free. I'm going to pull off the saran wrap and I'm going to hold it up so that you can see how cute that Santa is. Can you understand why I find them so addictive? We'll remove that little edge very easily. Okay, crafting friends, that was just the very basic technique so that you can get started. Make sure you follow along. Don't skip any steps. Now I have lots of samples to show you. So I took a little chick off of an Easter napkin and it had lots of little chicks on it. And this time I did not paint the handle of the spoon. So after I do my Mod Podge, I'm going to carefully put the little chick inside the spoon. And this time I'm going to take my brush and go right on top of the chick with some Mod Podge. And then of course I'm going to go back in with a piece of saran wrap and just very gently smooth it down. I'm actually going to use a little piece of wadded up a napkin when I do this. And then I'm going to very, very carefully remove the saran wrap and let's take a look. Okay, love this little angel. It came off of a vintage napkin. I'm going to put Mod Podge on the spoon, and as you can see, I didn't paint the handle because look how pretty and decorative it is. Now this angel was a little bit too big, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a tear so that she will fit right onto that spoon. Okay, after I did the little tear, she does fit perfectly. And again, I'm just going to take my brush and go over the little angel with some more Mod Podge. And once I'm done with that, I can tuck a little bit in if a piece is sticking up, just so you know. You can go under the napkin. Here's my piece of saran wrap. I'm going to smooth it down really well. This time I'm going to use my finger and some wadded up napkins. And once it's all done, I'm going to carefully pull off the saran wrap and show you a beautiful angel. Okay, now I'm going to get fancier. I picked 2 images off of this napkin. They're 2 little dancers. So I'm going to put the lady dancer down on the bottom with the Mod Podge. I'm going to place her carefully on there, and of course she fits perfect, and use my brush to go over it to make sure that she's on there really good. But of course, I am going to go on top with a piece of plastic wrap and just smooth it, and then very carefully remove the saran wrap. Now I'm going to get fancy. I put Mod Podge on the top of the spoon, and now I'm going to put my little dancer, let's call him a prince. We're going to print the prince on top, and I'm going to hold it up so that you can see the prince on top and the little princess on the bottom. I have a little tip for you. I found if I rolled up a little piece of cloth and rested the spoon handle on it, it really worked better for me. And this is a napkin I chose, has lots of little roses on it. I'm going to use the big rose down there on the bottom. And it's going to fit perfectly like that. And see how easy it is to have that little piece of cloth really holds the spoon in place. All right, and again, we're going to smooth it out with some saran wrap and gently remove it. Okay, look how pretty that is. But you know what? I'm going to make this spoon even fancier. I took some of the leaves off the same napkin, and I'm going to decoupage them right down the handle. Here's a cute napkin. It has a little birdie on it and some lemons. And I just want to remind you, with the decoupage, we only use the top printed ply of the napkin. So I'm going to put the little birdie on. I'm using my fingers, and I'm going to go back in with my brush. It has some Mod Podge on it. And when I am done putting the birdie on with the Mod Podge, I'm going to go back in with the plastic wrap and smooth it. But you know what? I'm going to make this spoon also fancy. I'm going to take the lemons from the napkin, and I'm going to put them up on top. Now I'm going to do something completely different. I found this napkin that I had with this owl on it. It's black and white, except the owl's eyes are yellow. So I took a spoon that was really tarnished, and I put 1 coat of chalk paint on, and now I'm going to put the owl down there on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put Mod Podge down there at the bottom, and then we're going to put our little owl there. Let's go. Alrighty, now I can tell right away that this is going to give me a little bit of trouble, and I'm going to tell you why. I only used 1 coat of chalk paint. If I used 2 coats of chalk paint, it would have adhered better because that would have given more texture. The chalk paint gives texture, and that's why the napkin adheres better. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to smooth it. I'm going to take my time. And I'm going to just smooth it out a little bit with my brush, tuck it down, and I think that it's going to come out perfect, but I am going to leave it alone and just let it dry. Ooh, I love that. So on all of the spoons I've just done, I have this extra napkin hanging off, and I'm going to show you how you can remove it. This is a finger sander. What I like about it is when the sandpaper wears out, you just take another piece, put it there on top, and you're ready to go. I'm going to use a downward stroke, and I'm going to go all the way around the spoon like that. It's the spoon handle. And I'm going to remove all of that excess napkin. Now, if you really wanted to, you can also take the napkin and tuck it around to the back with some Mod Podge. I just wanted to have a nice clean edge. And you can see with the napkin, there's the little girl from the window, and then I used the roof to do the handle. Okay, I think this is one of my favorite spoons. Why? Because it has that, McKinsey person kind of look to it. It's very designer. So you can see I use different parts of the napkin. I'm going to use my finger sander to remove all the extra napkin that's hanging off. And I have to tell you, wow, this spoon really does look very designer. And now I want to move on to sealant. One of the products I'm going to be using is Dura Clear Gloss Varnish. I'm also going to be using some embellishments like these different kinds of glitter. Now, as I put the sealant on, I want to tell you that these spoons are for decor only. You're not going to use these for food. You're not going to put them in the dishwasher. These are strictly for decor. We're just putting the sealant on to protect them and protect our hard work so they last a long time. Dura Clear is a water-based brush-on sealant, which I actually prefer over a spray sealant. I'm going to put the spoon off to dry. Now I'm going to take some of my extreme glitter paint, put a little bit on my paper plate here, and I'm going to coat this entire spoon that I did. This one has the little girl on it, and it looks white, but once it dries, that's just the glue and the paint part. It's going to be completely clear, and it's going to be very sparkly. So here's a fun product I came across. It's called Glitterific. And when you look inside the bottle, there are all these little pieces of glitter, but also little pieces of foil. And they're in all different sizes and all different shapes, and it really enhanced the spoons. I really love this Glitterific. In fact, I loved it so much I actually got it in other colors. And then with this spoon, I even mixed some of the extreme glitter with it. And I love how sparkly it came out. Really, really pretty. And with my designer nutcracker, which I really love, I felt it didn't really need any glitter. Just a few coats of glossy Dura Clear on the handle and down there on the spoon. I'm going to hold it up. He is just so handsome. Now we're going to want to hang them. And I was very lucky to have a friend who works in a metal shop, and he was able to drill some holes in them, but you may not be able to do that. So here's an option for you. I took some really thin wire. I made it into a loop like that, and then I just kept twisting it. And then when I was done with it, I clipped off a piece of the wire from the one side, but I left the other side long because that's what I'm going to need to wrap around the handle. So I put the loop up on top and I put it behind the handle like that. And then I took the wire and I started wrapping it around. Now I hope that you are noticing I am putting the wire over the loop in the back. That's going to help that loop to stay on, and I'm going to be going around there a few times. Once I'm done wrapping it around, I am going to take a little bit of E6000 and put that up on the top. As long as I have the wire out, I thought, oh, let me go take the wire and go all the way around the spoon. So I made a loop up at the top, and I just took the wire and I wound it all the way down the spoon. And when I got to the end, I still had some left, so I just went in the opposite direction. All right, let's take a look at it. That is the front, and there's the back. So here's some other options for you. On some of the spoons, I actually added some beads. I just kind of put them in there with the wire, and I've never done any beading before, but it was pretty easy. Now remember, you don't have to paint them white like I did there. You can use different colors. You can leave some parts unpainted. You can see I actually did a little bit of a whitewash on top of pink, so you don't just have to be white. And now for my grand finale, dun da da da. I took a spoon and I painted it white, and then of course I took some Mod Podge and I put it on the bottom. I found a little scrap of napkin that had 3 little trees on it, and I took the little trees and I put them down there in the spoon like that. And then I took my brush and I just smoothed it down really well. Now I want you to wait for this. Wait until you see what I do next. Okay. I found my container of Snowtex. Snowtex is like fake snow, and we use it with crafting. So I took my craft knife, wait till you see this, and I scooped some of it out and I put it all along the bottom of the tree. So now I'm making this spoon actually 3-dimensional. But I'm not done. I found this little Santa. I'm just going to pop him right in there on top of the snow. Then I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to play around with the snow until it looks really nice and the little Santa is in there really well. Okay, here's my very last spoon, and I'm gonna stick with the three-dimensional look. And this time I did it with a little piece of napkin that had a snowman on it, a little tree I got from the Dollar Tree inside the snow. I used the glitterific on the handle and some more snow on top. What do you think? Is this something you wanna make? Are you gonna make a ton of them like I did? These are so pretty. I started with some napkins from Vippy's Designs, www.vippys.com, and then I just got a whole bunch of old spoons. And what did I do? I took scraps of the napkin, I took beads and wire and paint, and I created these really pretty spoons. These are a great gift. They are definitely good to make into ornaments. And remember, it doesn't just have to be Christmas. You could use them for all different seasons or all different designs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please share it with your friends. Tell them where they can learn to make them as well, and that's right here at my YouTube channel, Decoupage D.I.Y with Joan-Marie. Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, and don't forget to hit the little bell so that you won't miss any of my videos and you're going to get a notification. Remember, I'm also on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, so you can follow me there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a lot of inspiration, and I'll see you really soon.